The NCP is here today. The CP is not. And you can decide on whether or not you would like to proceed. We did ask for a modification. It's just a little bit different than probably what we're used to based on the facts of this case.
Okay.
But I'll make it quick for you. I can just tell you what we're asking for, and then Mr. Candidate is here to testify. Your Honor, at this time, we're no longer pursuing a confirmation of arrears on this case. We are going to be asking that the court stop Mr. Kennedy's child support as of April 30th, 2025. We're also going to be asking the court to grant possession credits in the amount of $48,843.62. And that's it, Your Honor.
All right, sounds like it. Okay, possession credit, unofficial change of custody case. So let's get some testimony and get that one proved up. So at this time, Mr. Kennedy, raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're officially on the oath, and you may proceed at this time, Ms. Cummings-Vale. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Candidate, are you the father of Natalie and Christopher?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you previously ordered to pay child support by the Coryell County Court?
Correct.
And around August of 2017, did the state of Oregon Child Protective Services take custody of your kids?
Yes.
And at that time, were they residing with their mother, the custodial parent in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And in November of 2017, did Oregon then dismiss their case and give you the children?
Yes, on November 6, 2017.
And at that time, did you take the kids with you to Tennessee?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did the children from that time moving forward remain in your custody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I say during that time, but there was a situation that occurred in July of 2019, correct?
Yes, my daughter had.
Nope, just yes or no, sir. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So in around July of 2019, did Tennessee CPS take possession of Natalie?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Natalie need some mental health treatment and some care that you could not provide for her at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And she stayed in the care of Tennessee CPS for roughly 2 years, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, you decided that it was in her best interest that you voluntarily relinquish your rights so she can continue to get the treatment that she needed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But during that time, you still had Christopher in your custody, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then in February of 2023, did a very similar situation happen with Christopher?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Christopher, you still retain your legal rights to him, but he is currently in the care of Tennessee Child Protective Services, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And during each of these cases, did the state of Tennessee order you to pay child support through them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have they withheld wages from you for that child support?
I paid them directly. Nothing was ever withheld.
Okay. So you had paid child support
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And at this time, you no longer, the court did take your voluntary relinquishment and terminated your rights as to Natalie, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your understanding that the parental rights of Natalie's mother, the custodial parent in this case, were also terminated?
I can't definitively say yes or no because I don't know if hers was or not.
Okay.
Actually terminated.
But is that what they were asking for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And to your knowledge, Natalie is not with the custodial parent in this case, correct?
Correct, as far as I know.
Okay. And Chris, to your knowledge, Christopher is not with her either, correct?
I know that for a fact, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so at this time, are you in agreement or in favor of fine with the Texas Attorney General's office doing what I had laid out in my opening regarding the possession credits?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
stopping your support?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Christopher does turn 18 this month, correct?
Yes, ma'am. April 22nd.
Okay. All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, then. So I got a copy of the I got a copy of the financial activity report. So you're asking for a credit of how much now?
It's a possession credit of $48,843.62.
Okay.
That it may not look the same, but we have been working on this math like a good part of the day, Your Honor, to make sure that this was enough to, or this was the appropriate amount to
Okay,
kind
with the
of,
credits and apply it on the proper dates, it takes out the interest and knocks it down to zero, correct?
correct, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah. See that finance degree I got that my dad paid for comes in handy sometimes. See?
It absolutely does.
All right, then, not a problem. I got it. Anything else then, Ms. Cummings?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, I grant that, and I'm sorry for all the trials and tribulations with your kids. That sounds like a untenable situation, sir. But thank you for being there when you had to, and I'll go ahead and grant the state's request, and we'll take you down to zero as far as Coryell County is concerned. Is there anything else, sir?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Hopefully they'll get your credit rating back. It should go through the roof. So yeah, that should
Hopefully.
take care. Hopefully they take care of it. All right. Good luck to you, sir, and have a happy Easter. And you take care, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you. I just got one question. When the final order is done, who do I need to get that from? The state or?
From
The
us,
state will should they're going to send you a copy, sir.
we are.
In fact, they're
Okay.
going to send you a copy to sign off on by DocuSign. You can always download that and have that ready to go, but it won't have my signature on it until you get to the final copy. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. And thank you,
And
Ms.
if somehow
Cummings.
it falls through the cracks or something misses, you could always call up Coryell County and get a copy from them too, sir. You got the calls number and everything. It
All
won't
right.
fall through the cracks. They'll take care of it.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Your
thank you.
Honor. Am I free to
All right,
leave?
thank you very much.
Yes,
Any-
Mr. Kennedy, I'm fine
Is he
with
free
you
to go?
leaving. I will email you the order.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, again, we're off the record. Thank you.
The state and mother, I believe, in our agreement to do a final default in this Coryell County case. Testimony will show, Your Honor, that Mr. Henderson was actually, or pled no contest to a family violence against a household member when Miss Jackson was the victim back in 2020. And so for that reason, Your Honor, we're asking that she be sole managing conservator, Mr. Henderson as possessory conservator. My understanding is Ms. Jackson will say no concerns regarding him having the standard possession order. Testimony will be that he is more than 100 miles from her current address and may not have transportation of his own. So she may be willing to be transportation in the future if he reaches back out. Parties would communicate through app close if the court allows it. And the father would have the electronic communication with child on Wednesdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. He initiates and they converse for 30 minutes if child is still engaged. Testimony will show that the child does not have health insurance through a private or employment or marketplace source. And so we'd ask mother to maintain government coverage with father paying cash medical support of $18 a month based on one child in this case, two outside. And that would make current child support $183. My colleague is going to testify to the the income for Mr. Henderson during the retroactive period. And Your Honor, I believe testimony will be that we're only going back to January 1 of 23 based on going back to 2020 when parties separated, being part of the time Mr. Henderson was incarcerated.
All right, then. CSO Silva is the person testifying to the income information.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Well, at this time, I'll ask both Ms. Silva and Ms. Jackson to raise their right hands. And Ms. Jackson, you do unmute yourself, ma'am. All right. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes, Your Honor. I do, Your Honor.
All right. You're both officially under oath, and I'll go ahead and have you confirm the opening of the state. And ma'am, you can put your hand down, and I'll let the state call your first witness. And this is the first time CSO Silva has testified today, Ms. Bongat, just in case you probably knew that, but I thought I'd throw it out. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Ms. Silva as the first witness. Ma'am, what is your full name?
My name is Tanya Silva
How are you employed?
at the Office of Attorney General,
And what is your exact title?
a Child Support Officer 2.
What do your duties include?
I am responsible for negotiating child support orders to include establishment and modification. I assist with locating absent parents, completing wage investigation, and assisting customers through inquiries.
And was any of that done today regarding Mr. Shelton Henderson?
Yes.
Please describe what was found.
For wages, I was only able to locate wages on 2023 for quarters 1, 2, and 3. So for quarter 1, I found wages for $5,590.20. For quarter 2, $4,999.89. And quarter 3, $3,720.83.
Anything else to report, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, Ms. Jackson, you got any questions of the child support review officer, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, may the CSO be excused, Ms. Mungat?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. CSO Silva. And just in case this is the only time you get to do something today, and I don't see you before then, happy Easter. All right,
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, ma'am. You may call your next witness then, Ms. Mungat.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Ms. Jackson. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Tara Michelle Jackson.
Who is the child in this case?
Paisley Sue Henderson.
How are you related to Paisley?
I'm her mother.
And ma'am, who is Paisley's father?
Shelton Kyle Henderson.
And is it correct, ma'am, that you and he are the people who signed the document called an acknowledgement of paternity admitting you are Paisley's parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to hear my opening statement to the court, Ms. Jackson?
I think so, yes, that you prefaced everything.
All right. And then were you able to hear my colleague, Ms. Silva's testimony?
Yes.
And ma'am, do you know anything different about Mr. Henderson's earnings than what my colleague testified to?
I do not know anything for sure. I just know that he was looking for some kind of carny or rodeo hand job during the Houston rodeo, and that was a few weeks ago, up to a month ago.
And ma'am, how much or how little do you and he communicate?
It dwindled a lot. My daughter would ask to talk to him on the phone, and we would call, and then he would miss calls. And then sometimes he would call back at like 11 o'clock, which she's definitely asleep by then. And I'm not giving you access to talk to just me. So I didn't answer those calls, but at the end of us talking, he blocked me because I was like, I'm not gonna coddle you. I don't want to hear about your breakup until you can admit what you did to me, family violence wise. And if you can admit that to yourself, I've already forgiven you. I just need you to forgive yourself. But he blocked off all communication after that. So
Based
yeah,
on
that was
all
like
of that, Ms. Jackson, apologies for cutting you off, ma'am.
you're good.
But as far as the communication and wanting it to limit it just to the topic of Paisley,
Right.
was it your request that the court order the use of app close between the two of you?
Yes, please.
And ma'am, based on you mentioning the family violence, was that 2020 case that I was referring to in my opening statement the one where he was or did not contest the charge of assaulting you?
Yes, that was me.
And for that reason, ma'am, you understood what I had explained as to why the court has no choice but to name you sole managing conservator and Mr. Henderson possessory conservator of Paisley.
No, I understand it.
And then, ma'am, as far as the visitation, Paisley already knows who Mr. Henderson is and would like to see him if he made himself available.
Absolutely. Yes. And her siblings.
And how many other children does Mr. Henderson have?
He has I think a 10-year-old son, and I believe his daughter's like 14. Her name's Delia, and his name is Ozzy.
And does he pay support for those children, or are they in his home?
They're like right around the corner. I think he's last I heard they were in Denton. So it's like just a hop, skip, and a jump from where he is, I believe. So he's right there taking Ozzy to his Boy Scout stuff. Like he's there at those meetings. He tries to be there as best as he can for his daughter, but daughters don't want their dads in their life at 14. So, but yeah, he's there for his kids as much as he can be because he's right there.
And yes, ma'am, given the distance, since you mentioned that's Denton and you are presumably in the Coryell County geographic area, you understand that he's only entitled to the 1 weekend a month, provided he's given you notice and can make the arrangements to transport her to and from your home.
Right, absolutely.
And given the safety concerns from the past, ma'am, are you comfortable with exchanges occurring at your home, or were you preferring a neutral place?
I'd really prefer a neutral place. I know one time he did pick her up from my house, but it was like unnerving. So I'd rather do that somewhere else.
Okay. Were you wanting a police station or something more friendly for Paisley?
Chick-fil-A has a playground.
Okay. And so the nearest Chick-fil-A to you where you all are is where you'd like to meet him, and then she's not bored while waiting.
Right. Copper's Cove Chick-fil-A.
Okay. And then, ma'am, as far as the electronic communication, the time frames I mentioned to the court of 6 p.m. Wednesdays and Sundays, were those workable for yours and Paisley's schedule?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, and then, ma'am, as far as your daughter's health coverage, is it correct that there is no private source, such as through your employment or the marketplace, that is currently covering her?
No, ma'am.
And so you understand that if you're maintaining government coverage for her, we'd like Mr. Henderson to pay that $18 a month as the cash medical amount.
Yes, I understand.
And then doing the math using the current minimum wage presumption, that makes his current child support $183 a month.
Yes.
And then, ma'am, is it correct that you and Mr. Henderson did live together up until January of 2020?
Yes.
And since that time, ma'am, is it correct you've also gotten maybe $5 in a Cash App transfer to help you?
Yeah, I looked it up. It was $10, so I should have given him a little bit more grace there. $10, and it was 2 years ago, December 23rd,
Okay.
for gas.
And so other than that $10 amount, you are asking this court to go ahead and award back child support calculated based on Mr. Henderson's time not incarcerated since January of 2020, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, based on that, ma'am, you're wanting the court to approve the state's calculated request of $5,460.36.
Yes, ma'am.
And if approved, you have no problem with the repayment amount of $78 per month, also beginning May 1st on top of the current child and medical support.
Yes, ma'am. I'm okay with that.
And ma'am, has Mr. Henderson ever served in the military?
No.
Has he ever been a first responder of any kind?
No.
And to your knowledge, has he ever received any type of disability finding?
No.
Anything else, ma'am, you wanted the court to consider?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, ma'am, I'm looking at going with everything is requested. I'm looking at naming you sole MC, naming him possessory, setting up the visitation package. Y'all can agree to what you need to with failing agreement. If he requests and gives you notice and you can't agree on the spot is automatically going to be the like I say, Chick-fil-A playground. But right now, I'll say the closest Chick-fil-A to your house, and right now that's the Copper's Cove one. I'll go ahead and grant the child support cash medical as requested, the retroactive as requested, and the repayment as requested. Non-disclosure. I'm sorry, Ms. Bongott, I missed that. Did you requested non-disclosure? I never
Apologies, Your Honor. I don't know that
applicable,
she,
but you requested non-disclosure also.
I think Ms. Jackson's wanting that just because of, while he knows the current address, she may want some flexibility going forward if she needs to move.
All right, good enough then. So granted. And any court cost that comes down the pike from the good folks out in Gatesville, go to him, and I'll give him to next year, the end of April 30th, 2026, to make that payment if he is so billed. Is there and again, everything else as requested and proven up by the mother is granted. Is there anything else then, Ms. Mongat?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Jackson, any questions, ma'am?
No, Your Honor, I just appreciate your time.
I get paid to be here, ma'am. And I won't say not enough, but yeah, it's not a problem, ma'am. Thank you for being here. Sorry for the long wait. This just, this is just family law. It's been like that since I've been a lawyer, and I've been a lawyer for a long time. So it's always hurry up and wait, but we'll let you get out of here, ma'am, and appreciate you being there for your daughter, obviously, and take care. How old is she right now, ma'am?
She's going to be 6 on June 30th.
Oh, okay. So she still, she still wants to see daddy. Yeah, you're right. When they turn 13 and 14, yeah. But I learned the secret weapon when they turn that age. iPhone. Talk to me. You don't get one. Not at these prices anyway.
No way.
And that's back in the days when they were only $600-700. God, I hate to try to do that today. So
She
anyway.
can get a Firefly. Call mom, dad, and leave them there.
No, I always got on my iPhones because that's the network we're in. So yeah. But but it is what it is. They want them when they're 8, and you get them when you're 14. Okay, there you go. So yeah. All right, then, man. Well, thank you very much, and good luck. And hopefully, Dad will want to try to start doing something and getting this child's life a little bit more. That Carney thing kind of worries me a little bit. If that's his aspirations to work part-time in carnivals and rodeos, yeah. Tell him if he's up in that area, tell him he needs to go over to the General Motors plant and start trying to make Tahoes, okay? So yeah.
I agree. If he'd unblock me, sir.
Yeah, well, you told him you technically told him to grow up, and I guess he didn't like it. All right. So all right.
Amen.
Well,
have a good day, sir. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Is Miss Jackson free to go, Miss Bongat?
I'm going to have her stay in a breakout room briefly, Your Honor.
All right, she's gonna try to do the paperwork and get you done, ma'am, and that way you're done for good. Thank you very much, and we're off the record.
All right, thank you. Bye.